As far as the timeline is concerned for the tour, I started in September, and August was when I got Peter booked. And again, this is where the brand management stuff kind of came into play, because by the time August rolled around, most of my tracking was done. Not all of it, but most of it was. So I was really just sitting in the studio with George tracking other people. So September and October, I was doing a lot of design work with posters, with graphics, with video content. I was doing a lot of writing. As a part of the project, I needed to do writing for the academic side, and so that took the form, rather than some big like scholarly paper, it took on the form of social media posts, like blog postings, like that was appropriate for this context. And so I was doing a lot of writing for that. And when I realized that I wasn't getting the traction with the blog posts in terms of how the brand was being established, I switched to video, because video is much more enticing to people's eyes. And so because I made that switch, I spent a lot more time investing on the video editing side, which was a new experience for me as well, because I had really worked with iMovie only a couple of times, and it was new to me. And I can't even say now that I'm some wizard at it, but I know how to function in it. So the fall was really spent doing a lot of brand management and content creation for web and social platform content. In November, I secured all of the venues. Again, with the venues, all of the venues that were established for the tour all came from friendships. All of them. There was not one that was just some random club that I called in Minneapolis that took me in. Like it was through a connection of some kind. So again, be kind to one another, and be loving to one another, and be supportive to one another, because you never know who you're going to work with. Okay. So those were finally secured in November. And then on what I wanted to do is it was kind of a fine line for me to kind of keep blasting all this Christmas stuff, before Thanksgiving, because people just were not, tuning into it. So I knew that on Thanksgiving I wanted to like hit it. So I had to have everything in line because Thanksgiving, that's when people's minds flip when it comes to holidays. You're at the dinner table, Thanksgiving dinner, Black Friday, it's Christmas. You know what I mean? Like that's how people's minds work. And so I wanted the blasting, as far as the social media stuff, to be very intentionally scheduled around the Thanksgiving weekend. I wanted the album to release online. I wanted the tour video to be released online, and it was. The album release concert was kind of in the middle of the tour experience. It was an incredible event. When I showed up at McNally Smith in December, I had to go through this like faculty panel review thing that they looked at my project, and we talked about the performance and all that kind of stuff. When they sat down with me to talk about the project, my advisor looked me dead in the eye and he said, hands down, this is the finest thing that our graduate program has ever put out and ever seen. And we're so proud of you. So that to me was a huge, huge compliment that I will cherish forever. I graduated from McNally that week and then did a couple coffee houses in local churches, and then a lot of house shows when I was there. And it was a really, really great experience. I was invited at that event called Fireside Cuddle by my graduate advisor, Charlie Christensen. He has a lot of original music of his own, and he has produced 4 of his own holiday albums, all original work. It's amazing. And he has this event once a year at Christmas called Fireside Cuddle, and it's 2.5-hour show of him. It's amazing. And he invited me to sing at his show, and so I got to sing one of my songs there, and that was a great experience. And then I did a coffee house in central Wisconsin on my way back. So that was an overall picture of the tour itself. I was done on Christmas Eve, so it was a really short window of time. But basically from the top of December to Christmas Eve, I was gone. And that was a reality for my family and for me with my family in terms of being absent. And so part of what I also wanted to kind of just like bring up, like with the touring and the traveling aspect, is that when you do that, you are absent from people. And you can think all you want that, oh, life's going to be normal and life's going to be, just fine the way that it is. But when you're gone from people, it takes a toll. And anyone that's done traveling knows that. But I just want to reiterate that to say that like there are people that are involved in your life that you have to maintain the relationship with that are much more important than a gig. Okay, like the people are way more important than a gig, and so keep that in perspective. As you're planning out events and traveling and touring and performing, that has to come secondary to your family. And I worked really hard to maintain integrity with that with Morier, and she was incredibly supportive of this entire project from day one, and I'm grateful to her just for her support in that. It wouldn't be, the album wouldn't sound like how it sounds without George, but the whole thing would not be at all if it wasn't for my wife, honestly. So I just want to kind of keep that front burner for you guys. That relationships are so key, not just in the networking and in like getting the gigs, but in who you come back to. Because if you don't have a family to come back to, then that's not cool if you had one in the first place. So just to keep things in perspective.